So this is a place that I've been many times before, and every time I come, I get super excited because one of my favorite plants is here, one that you really only see in the wild. And so I came up this weekend and I was like, I hope it's there. I hope I remember correctly, and I hope that maybe there's enough that I can harvest some. And I remembered correctly, and there's a lot. And let me show you. So this plant gets a little shy with its flowers. Every time I've tried photographing it, the flowers get blurry. So I hope that this works well enough that you can see them pretty well. I'll try to zoom in on the flowers. So it's a little bit of an awkward angle to see, but this is called parrot's beak. You can see a little bit of a beak there. And then the leaves have these serrated edges. So the leaves are alternate, whoops, there's my hand, alternate on the stems. Let me zoom out again. Zoom out. The leaves are alternate on the, here's my hand again, alternate on the stem, so they're not like one right across from the other. They go one on the one side, one on the other side, and then the flowers are in the leaf axils. So this is Pedicularis Ray Samosa. As I mentioned, it's parrot's beak. This at least used to be in the Scrophulariaceae family. It may have changed families since I did my botany training. And it is really prolific. You can see that it's growing kind of in a shrubby way here. Let me zoom out. Whoosh. So kind of low, shrubby here, lots of stems. There's some here, and it's all starting to flower. It flowers up the stems, and so there are some, let me get back into middle. There are some buds at the end here. And there's a lot of it. So this is right by, this is, 50 feet from the road. You can maybe see my car over there. And it's all over in here. So whoops, here's a bunch. I tried to find a place to put my tent that was not in the Pedicularis. And there's no Pedicularis directly under my tent, but there's a bunch of it like right at the edges of the tent. So all of this in here is Pedicularis. So why do you care about Pedicularis? Well, it's a beautiful plant that is native to here, one of many Pedicularis species. And this species and several others that grow here are really great calming herbs. So I love me my calming herbs. Work with mental health a lot in my practice. See, they don't want to be focused on the flowers. And I work with mental health a lot in my practice, so calming herbs are something I use a lot. Pedicularis can be really helpful for sleep, it can be useful for anxiety. It is helpful as a muscle relaxant. So I've seen it work really well for restless leg syndrome. And my teacher, Howie Brownstein, from Columbine School of Botanical Studies in Eugene, Oregon, check him out. He's awesome. The way he describes what Pedicularis does on the mental level is he says, and I quote, "for circular thoughts that go round and round in your head and won't stop." So we know what that's like, and especially these days, there's a lot of that going on. So Pedicularis Ray Samosa. So as I showed you, this is right by my tent. There's a lot more in the area where I'm camping. But because this is right by my tent, I've unfortunately been stepping on it a lot, which I'm really trying not to do because I don't really want to bother it. But it's pretty hardy. Pedicularis, deer love to come and nibble on it, and they'll nibble it down to nubs. So my stepping on it hopefully isn't too big an impact. And hopefully my harvest, which I will do in a different area, will also not be too big of an impact. Again, I'm not taking a lot. I'm taking it from a dispersed area where it is plentiful. But because it's right by my tent, I have been stepping on it, and it has this pretty distinct fragrance that I think of as being typical for this family. It's a little hard to describe. It's kind of earthy, mushroomy. And when you love this plant, you will probably love how it smells. So I'm going to tincture it, but you don't have to do that. You can eat the leaves straight for their calming effect. And so I'm going to do some of that before I go to bed tonight. So that's a little bit about my friend Pedicularis Ray Samosa. Please don't use this video as a definitive way to identify the plant. To identify plants for wildcrafting, make sure that you go out with somebody who really knows what they're talking about, and not somebody who just saw a video either. If you get the wrong thing, you can hurt yourself. But this is a really safe plant if you get it right, and it's not widely available in commerce. So this is one that it really helps to know somebody who harvests it. That's pretty much how you have to get it. Know somebody who harvests it or be able to harvest it yourself. So I hope that you enjoy it. I'd love to know if you have used Pedicularis yourself and what you think of it. And again, this is just the one species. There are many species, and if I come across the others in my travels, I will be sure to share them with you. Take care. Bye.